My dear friends, welcome to Rajashekhar classes on applied data science with Python. This is lecture number 76. In this lecture, we will try to understand methods used to measure the shape of the data. There are three methods which are useful to measure the shape of the data. First one is skewness, second one is kurtosis, third one is box and whisker plots. I will discuss about kurtosis in my next lecture, that is in lecture number 77. In this lecture, we will try to understand skewness and box whisker plots. Skewness. What is skewness? The lack of symmetry, or I can say a distribution or data set is symmetric if it looks the same to the left and right of the center point. When the distribution is not symmetrical, it is called skewed distribution. Skewness is absence of symmetry. As I told you in my previous lectures, that may be left skewed. Previous lecture means in lecture number 73. That may be left skewed data or it may be right skewed data. If you observe this particular diagrams, just see this one is just see center point, midpoint. What does it mean? It looks same to the left and right side of the center point. This one is center point, isn't it? It looks same on left and right side of the center point. Therefore, it is symmetric, isn't it? For example, here which one is center point? It is not looking same on left and right side of the distribution. Therefore, it is not symmetric. Whereas here also, is it looking same on left and right side of the center point? It's not same. Therefore, this one is skewed, this one is also skewed, but whereas the center one is not skewed. This I think anybody can understand. There is no complications. Let me proceed. Just say this one. This one is known as, first one, this one is known as, it has got skewness left side. Why? Because its tail is stretched along left side. Therefore, I can say it is stretching its tail along negative direction. Therefore, this is negatively skewed. Whereas its tail is stretched along positive direction. Therefore, it is positively skewed. Whereas in the middle case, the normal curve represents perfectly symmetric distribution. It is not stretching, isn't it? Anyway, we will try to understand these things with different illustrations. I already discussed in my previous lectures about skewness, how one can calculate skewness with the help of pandas, with the help of SciPy. Now I am explaining theory behind skewness. We already demonstrated with the help of pandas and SciPy in my previous lectures. Just see, we were discussing about in lecture number 73, I discussed mean, median, mode, which can be chosen as a measure of central tendency. That I discussed, isn't it? In the case of symmetrical distribution, this point is very important. Your mean, median, mode are same. In that case, you can choose any one of them as measure of central tendency. Just see, this mean, median, mode are same for symmetrical distribution. If you observe, this one is bell shaped curve, I can say it's a normal distribution curve. Time being, just understand, in the case of symmetrical distribution, all these three central tendencies, mean, median, mode are same. Yes, if you observe right skewed distribution of right skewed data, if you carefully observe this particular diagram, if it is right skewed, which it's a mode, we know how to identify mode. I already discussed many times about mode. This is unimodal curve. Mode means which has got highest frequency in the data set. It has got highest frequency. Why? Because it has got more height, isn't it? I can always say it's a mode. Even in previous lectures, in lecture number 73, we were discussing that median, whether it is right skewed or left skewed, your median is always in between. In between. Therefore, it is in between. Median must be in between. In the case of right skewed data, mean will be on right side. Just see, it is right side. If it is left skewed data, your mean will be it towards left side. I can say like this: if it is right skewed data, your mode is less than median, isn't it? Mode is less than median is less than mean, isn't it? Which one has got highest value? Mean. Don't get confused with this height. Height indicates frequency, but numerical value is mode is less than on x-axis. Just see, on x-axis it's increasing, isn't it? Therefore, median is right side of mode means mode is less than median. Mean is right side of median means median is less than mean. Sometimes people may get confused, but here mode frequency is high, isn't it? But that doesn't mean, but numerical value of mode is less than median. Median is less than mean. You must understand for right skewed data, for right skewed distribution, what is the relation? Mode less than median less than mean. This I already discussed in lecture number 73. Yes. Anyway, let me proceed further. Now we will try to understand left skewed data. Just compare this one. In the case of right skewed data, mean, in the case of left, this one is left skewed. In the case of right skewed data, we were saying that mean is right side, isn't it? But whereas in the case of left skewed data, mean is to the left, isn't it? Anyway, this is mode. There is no doubt. Why? Because which has got highest frequency, or I can say it has got highest height. Therefore, it is mode. This median always sits in between. This one is mean. This is known as left skewed data. What is the relation between these three central tendencies in the case of left skewed data? How can I say? Mean is, yes, mean is less than median. Yes, median is less than mode, isn't it? Just this is smaller value, this is little bit bigger value, even bigger value, isn't it? It's straightforward. Anybody can understand this, isn't it? Yes. If I keep all of them in one slide, just I am summarizing this. Just how will it be? Just see, this is negatively skewed. As I told you, in the case of negatively skewed, this your tail will be on left hand side, isn't it? If you carefully observe, here you have upper band, isn't it? But in the case of negatively skewed data, there is no lower band. Lower band. It goes on. Anyway, I will explain with the help of one real time example at the end of this lecture. Yes, this one is also, as I told you, mean, median, mode are coinciding. They are same in the case of not skewed data. Not skewed means it is symmetric data. Whereas in the case of positively skewed, your mean is on right hand side, which is negatively skewed, your mean is on left hand side. We already discussed the relation among these three central tendencies. Just for summarization, we are keeping all three types of distributions in one slide, nothing more than that. Anyway, let me proceed further. Coefficient of skewness, this is one of the most important concept in understanding skewness of distribution. When can I use this? This one is, you must know the I can calculate coefficient of skewness by, let me say like this. Coefficient of skewness is calculated by multiplying the difference between mean and median. This mu is known as mean. This is the mean. This one MD is known as median. This is a difference between, I must multiply the difference between mean and median with number 3, and the result must be divided by sigma, where sigma is known as standard deviation. Means when can I calculate this coefficient of skewness? I must have mean, I must have median, I must have standard deviation. In that case, I can calculate coefficient of skewness. What is the purpose of coefficient of skewness is, it is useful to understand the skewness of the given curve. If your coefficient of skewness is less than 0, then that is negatively skewed. Skewed to the left means your tail will be stretched along the negative left side of the distribution, anyway, which we have seen in previous slides. If S is equal to 0, that is not skewed. Not skewed means it is symmetric curve. If S is greater than 0, I can say it is positively skewed. Depending on the S value, I can say whether it is negatively skewed. If it is less than 0, negatively skewed. If it's greater than 0, positively skewed, equal to 0, I can say it is symmetric. Symmetric in the sense not skewed. We will try to understand this with one simple numerical example. Just let me take this mu1 means mean. My mean is 23 and my median is 26. My standard deviation is 12.3. S1 equal to, my formula says 3 into mu1 minus m1 md1 by sigma 1. If I calculate, I am getting minus 0.73. What does it mean? It is negatively skewed distribution. In similar manner, let me take one more example. Here mu2 is md2 sigma. If I calculate what happens, I am getting 0. What does it mean? This is not skewed distribution, it is symmetrical distribution. If I take one more example, I am taking mean as 29, my median is 26, standard deviation is 12.3. If I calculate, I am getting 0.73, means I am getting positive number. If I am getting positive numbers, means it is positive, it is right skewed data, isn't it? That's what it says. Just see, if S is greater than 0, what's happening? If S is greater than 0, it's positively skewed. If S equals 0, it is not skewed. If S less than 0, it is negatively skewed. Just we discussed one simple numerical example. Depending on S value, I can say whether it is positively skewed or negatively skewed or not skewed. Not skewed in the sense it is symmetric distribution, isn't it? Now, we were saying that initially, the shape of the data can be analyzed with the help of three measures. First one is which one? Skewness, and second one is box and whisker plots, and third one is kurtosis. This box and whisker plots I already discussed in my previous lectures. In data visualization classes, I have spent a lot of time on box and whisker plots. Anyway, now we will try to understand this one. It is graphic display of distribution. It reveals skewness. The application of box and whisker plot is to check whether the data follows symmetry or what is the nature of the skewness of the distribution. Now, in order to calculate, there are 5 specific values used in box and whisker plots. We will try to understand this one. Q2 is quartile 2. I will record separate lecture on quartiles. Time being, just understand. Q2 is known as a median, that is second quartile. Q1 is first quartile. Q3 is third quartile. You can have minimum value and maximum value. Just we will try to visualize it. How will it be? Yes, this one is box and whisker plot. Why people are calling it as box and whisker plot? Just see this diagram. This one is, as I told you, there are 5 measures. This is first one, minimum, maximum, Q1, Q2, Q3. There are quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3. There are 5 measures. This is left whisker, this is right whisker, this is box. Just see this diagram. You are adding box. This is box, isn't it? What are the whiskers? Just you can see a cat. These are the whiskers of cat. This is this whisker, and this is right whisker, isn't it? If you carefully observe this one, just see this one. If you want to if you analyze the data distribution, you can find in this is known as, I discussed about IQR. IQR means interquartile range. Here you can have 50% data. Just see, this is also known as median. 50% data is in this box. Just see, this is 50% data. On left whisker you have 25% data. On right whisker you have 25% data. We already discussed in my previous classes what is we already discussed real-time examples. We constructed box and whisker plots for Kaggle databases. Anyway, it's the theoretical description of your box and whisker plots. Even these box and whisker plots are useful for finding whether it is negatively skewed or positively skewed or not skewed in the sense whether it is symmetric. Just see, what is this? This graph is negatively skewed, isn't it? If it is negatively skewed, your median, this center one is median is right side, means I can say for on seeing this, on observing this box and whisker plot, I can say data distribution whether it is negatively skewed or positively skewed or symmetric. Just see, for negatively skewed distribution, you can find more region on left side of the median compared to in its right side. On right side you have less region, but on left side you have more region. Means your median is, the center one is median. Median is right side, it is right side of the middle position. Then I can say that is negatively skewed. If your median is just in between at the center, I can say it is symmetric distribution. I can say it is not skewed distribution. If your median is left side of the center point, I can say it is positively skewed, or I can say you must have more region on right hand side of the median compared to its left side. Then I can say that is positively skewed data. That diagram reveals everything anybody can understand on seeing that particular diagram. Now, I already discussed about this right skewed data, left skewed data, and symmetrical data in my previous lectures. In lecture number 73, I discussed about right skewed data and left skewed data. In that lecture, I gave example of marks, easy question paper and hard question paper. In the case of hard question paper, it follows right skewed distribution, whereas in the case of easy question paper, it follows left skewed distribution. Anyway, let me give one more real-time example on skewness. What does it mean for the data to have positive skewness? Let's consider that income of individuals across the entire world. So we have very rich billionaires in this data set. We also have very poor individuals. This data is actually positively skewed. Outliers such as billionaires who are greater than the mean are more likely than outliers. You don't have negative billionaires in the data set. You have positive billionaires and people with low income, say close to zero. This is right skewed distribution. The skewness of this distribution will be greater than 0, isn't it? That's what coefficient of skewness says. You are likely to encounter a right skewed distribution where there is a lower bound. This sentence is very important. Let me repeat. You are likely to encounter a right skewed distribution where there is a lower bound, but there is no upper bound. What does it mean? Anyway, we will try to understand these points with the help of simple diagram. A lower bound for income is an income of 0, but there is no upper bound. You can be a billionaire or even you can be a trillionaire. There is no upper bound. Here is what a right skewed distribution might look like. Just say this one. Just observe this one. If you observe carefully, this is right skewed distribution. Just see, this is billionaires. There is no upper bound. It keeps on going. There is no upper bound. No income means 0 income. Here you have lower bound. For right skewed distribution, for positive skewed distribution, you need not have an upper bound. It keeps on going, but you have a lower bound. No income is an example of no income means it's a lower bound, isn't it? This I already discussed in lecture number 73. If question paper is hard, it follows this positive distribution or right skewed distribution, isn't it? Just it's simple and straightforward. This even if you want, you can take some billionaires data set, just take this data set and plot it. You will get a right skewed distribution. It is simple and straightforward. Anybody can understand. Just see number of billions. If you plot like this, what happens? Number of billions. This height is very less. Means in the world, number of billionaires are very less. Why? Because here income is it's increasing income. In lecture number 73, we were discussing about marks here, but instead of marks here I am taking income. More as I am going from left to right, income is increasing, but more income, less people. Just see. If you increase, if it keeps on going increasing income, this curve will, it's going like this. It's going like it's going like, means number of people with more income very less, isn't it? But no income or less income or medium less, here less income. There are more number of people who have less income, isn't it? That you can understand. Just try to correlate this lecture with lecture number 73 so that you can understand. These are different applications of skewness, people's income, mileage on used cars for sale. This slide anybody can understand. Just go through this slide. Just read this slide. I think I need not explain this slide. It is simple and straightforward. For more information, just I prepared this slide. Yes. Let's move on to example of data that is negatively skewed. Consider losses from storms. So you have no storms things. I think this also you can understand. It is simple. Just let me go through this in faster manner. Why? Because this I already repeat. It's a repetition. Why? Because I already discussed this negatively skewed distribution in the case in lecture number 73. Just I am taking one more example. Just if you see here, what's happening, I am considering data related to storms, isn't it? In the case of storms, what happens? There is an upper bound, no losses, but there is no lower bound. This is, isn't it? Normally, losses are minor if it is a small storm. When a monster storm hits, the devastation can be very, very severe. Outliers that are worse than the mean, means that there is no lower bound, isn't it? I can say there is no positive outcome of a storm. There are only extreme negative outcomes. This is left skewed distribution, a distribution with a negative skewness. Negative skewness is often encountered in data when there is an upper bound. This point is very important. This is very, very important. There is an upper bound. Yes, there is an upper bound. Yes, there is an upper bound, but no lower bound. There is no lower bound. There is no. We don't know how much damage that storm can. You cannot estimate. There is no lower bound, isn't it? But in the case of positively skewed, there is no upper bound. Here you have an upper bound, but there is no lower bound. There is no lower bound to how much damage a storm can do. Here is a hypothetical shape of this is a hypothetical shape of negatively distributed data. Just go through this one. Certainly, I think you can understand. If you have any difficulty, just keep a comment so that I will try to explain. Thank you very much.